What's up guys, Ruxin34 back here with another Duel Links video, and today we're doing a little bit of a different video because I had a request to make a video on how new and returning players could succeed / do really well in Duel Links, because as you know, if you've played this game for a while, the best decks are constantly changing. Like, the meta it'll stay around for a little while, but after, a month or two, maybe sometimes more, the best decks will completely change and your old cards most of them are useless. So me myself, having just returned fairly recently from a pretty long absence, and the guy who requested it has just returned, and he's realizing that it's actually pretty tough, when your decks don't work anymore from what they used to. So I'm going to kind of go over how a new or returning player can do well in Duel Links and make king of games and stuff like that. So let's start with like a new player. If a new player has not played Duel Links before and they just downloaded the game, I have a friend who just downloaded the game. He has no cards. He's barely done anything. How can he make king of games? So the first most important thing for a new player is to realize that you're not going to make it right away. Like, you're not going to start playing PvP and then a week after you download the game make it to king of games. So the important thing is to set a goal for yourself. I want to make it to silver, I want to make it to gold, and then gradually increase. Like this season I want to make it to gold or make it to platinum, which honestly you can get to platinum probably pretty quickly. So set a goal, and then the most important thing, a new player is going to be a lot more difficult than a returning player, because you have to farm characters and level up characters, which if you're a returning player, you've already done a lot of that, so you don't really have to grind as much, but a new player is going to have to grind. So very important for new players to grind their characters. A few pretty good cards you can get from leveling up characters is Windstorm for it's not used as much anymore, but it's still a really good card, especially for like an early on, a beginner kind of deck. Still a really useful card. Trap card, it's a one of in this game, so you level up mine to level 25, then you can get Windstorm. So that's a good card. Odeon has level 20 at level 21, gives you Curse of Anubis, another one of, basically like Windstorm, sometimes better, sometimes worse, but both really good cards to obtain. And then a really good card you need to get from farming or just battling legendary duelist is Kaiba. Enemy controllers. They're limited now because they're so good. So you can use 2 in a deck. So you need to obtain at least 2 from Kaiba by farming, or if you're really early in the game, you can't even farm like level 40. You farm like level 20 or something, or just battle level 20, and so you get 2 enemy controllers. Or you can even use SR tickets, which I think I actually used an SR ticket on one when I first started, because I didn't realize that I could just farm it from him, but that works. That's another thing. As a new player, you're going to want to use your tickets wisely. You're going to want to get cards that are meta relevant and not cards that are just like cool and stuff. So use tickets wisely. But the thing about tickets is a lot of times there's not very many good cards, but the current dream ticket that's out, you're going to want to use that on a good card from a main box. You don't want to use it on a card you could farm. You don't want to use it on a card that you can win by, a PvP ticket or something like that. You want to use it on a card that you have to use gems to get the box. So use it on I would say use it on a UR from a main box, because a smaller box is going to be a lot easier to get URs. So the card that I have been encouraging people to use their ticket on, or one of them, would be Cosmic Cyclone, because that can be used in almost any deck, and it's out of a massive box, a 200 pack box, so it's pretty tough to obtain and take a lot of gems. So I would use it on Cosmic Cyclone. Another one that's pretty popular right now is Paleozoic Canadia. I only have one of them myself. It can be used in pretty much any deck, so it's a pretty good card to get, and I think it's a 180 pack box, or maybe 200, but so it's still pretty difficult to get. So that's another really good card. I would pick up like a main staple card, and by staple card I mean basically a spell or trap that can be used in almost any deck, or like a Sphere Kariba, something like that. That can also be teched in like any deck. I wouldn't pick up a card for a deck. So like I wouldn't pick up something for a Destiny hero deck, wouldn't pick up something for a vampire deck, because those decks are going to be extinct eventually. So those other two cards are probably not going to be. They might, but they're going to be more useful. So that's for both returning and new players. Pick up a main card that is difficult to obtain. And moving on to the next goal. So as a new or returning player, this is relevant to both. When you first get back, your deck is going to be bad. You're going to have some old deck like my friend he was using Cyber Angels, he told me. Now Cyber Angels used to be incredible. They used to dominate. Everyone used them. Like you could go into PvP, you could make King of Games in a couple of days, maybe one day, just using Cyber Angels. But now they're not good. You know, nobody uses them anymore because they've been nerfed. They've just kind of got outdated. They're outdated now. They're just not very good. So continuing to use those, he's not going to do well. So a better way to improve is to first, before you spend all your gems you get, because when you return or you're a new player, you're going to have a lot of gems because there's a lot of updates that have happened, free gems that you've gotten from like 5D's World. There are more levels for characters for you to level up to get more gems, stages in 5D's World. So there's all these options to get gems, but don't use them right away. Don't dump them into something before you know what you're looking for. So if you're a free-to-play player, I would encourage you to find the cheap meta deck. There's always a cheap meta deck. There's usually a deck that's very free-to-play friendly, and I can give a few examples. Cyber Angels, already missed them. Those were basically free-to-play. The best version of them, you had to have 3 Sinjus and 3 Sonic Birds, but the main core of the deck was all from farming Alexis, which was completely free. You could just farm Alexis at the gate. You get Dakinis, you could get Edatins, you get all the rituals, and you didn't have to spend a dime, didn't have to spend any gems at all. So that was really great. So you had 6 URs to have the best deck. You really only needed, like, because you could get Cyber Petite Angel, you really needed like 3 out of 6 to have a really good deck. So that deck was pretty easy to obtain. You only had to have a couple URs. After that deck, there was Sylvans. Sylvans came out of a small box, Rampage of the Forest. There was only 80 packs in this box, so it was super easy to obtain all the cards you needed and have an absolutely dominant deck. It was the best deck in the game. I didn't really play much around then, but it absolutely dominated, and they had to limit a lot of the cards. So that deck was basically free to play. So if you were a new player at that time and you came in, you're like, okay, what deck do I need to get? You see that everyone's dominating with Sylvans, and you're like, oh, I can get this all in one box. And it's a small box, very easy to obtain. And now, in the current meta, there is several really good decks, but the main deck that I currently use, because I returned, is the Fur Hire deck. Fur Hires, they've been nerfed, but they're still super good, and they're out of one box. You can get, if you buy the Clash of Wings box, you have to get one SR, and then a bunch of rares, and you have the deck basically. It uses almost all monsters, and then the Fur Hire spell, which is a rare, I think, as well in that box. And then there is finally the extra couple cards, which I use Cosmic Cyclones. You can also use Giant Trunades, or Hay Trunades, excuse me, the new name. But those are SRs, so you can get the SRs. So basically, to have the deck, you only need 3 SRs, 3 SR Fur Hire beat, and then you need either 2 or 3 of Cosmic Cyclone or Hay Trunade, and you can obtain them out of one other box. So basically, you buy one box, and then if you don't have either of those, you have to buy one other box. So and Hay Trunade is much more affordable because it's out of a small box and it's an SR. So that deck it's super affordable. So this is what I would tell you to do if you're a new player. Now we haven't seen anything from 5Ds. That's the thing. 5Ds just came out, and I was thinking, okay, there's gonna be a big meta shift. Synchros are now in the meta, but nothing has really happened with synchros. They're not very good. at least yet, because we don't have all the cards. So we're sticking with the old meta. The old meta you can get for hires. You can get them for cheap. And if you don't have a lot of gems, buy out of that one box. Buy until you have your first SR, beat Bladesman for hire, reset the box, do it until you get another one, reset the box, do it until you get another one, and then you have a really solid deck. So new players can buy out of that box, have a great deck. They can use their dream ticket on a Cosmic Cyclone or something like that, Paleozoic Canadia, put it in the deck. They can, if you have a Treacherous Trapple, that's a great card for that. So, and then, so yeah, that's how you have a good deck, or that's how you get a good deck. And then once you have that deck, all you have to do is be patient. Learn how to play the deck, and you will rank up, because all it takes is practice and perseverance to move up the ladder, because you don't even have to be that great of a player, but if you use a great deck, you're going to get wins. So just keep pushing up there. A couple of other things that I wanted to mention were decks to not go for right now, because this is about the current situation. I think Fur Hire is a good option. Another option that isn't terrible, it's a decent option, would be the Destiny Heroes, because Destiny Heroes are, while they are in a big box, they're mostly in that one box. So you can kind of get the Mass Change and the Enoki or whatever he's called from one box. And then you have to buy, I think you have to buy a structure deck or two, maybe one structure deck, and you can get that with gems. So it's 500 gems, or you can pay like $2 or something like that when it's on sale. So that deck it's not as affordable, but I would say it's decently affordable. So I think that's a decent option as well, because that's a really, really strong deck. Then there are the options that you should not go for as a new player. And the number one option you should not try to obtain is Amazoness. And the main reason is because the main cards right now are not available in the game. You can get them if you have the right UR tickets. You can get the Princess, but you are missing Princess, and then you have to level up Mai to level 45, which is actually super high. So if you're a new player, that's almost out of the question. You have to unlock Mai and rank her all the way up to level 45. So that's going to take forever. Then that's to get the Queen, I believe. And then you have to farm her to get Swordsman, farm her to get Willpower. Onslaught is in a box you have to buy. So that's a great option if you were playing during the Mai event that gave away the Queen. But otherwise it's not a good option at all. Another option that is also not very good, it's not good at all for new players, it might be good for old players, is Vampires. Vampires is a great deck, but it's spread over like 5 boxes. If you're a new player, you don't have Gozukis, you don't have Samurai Skulls, you don't have any of the Vampires, it's just not going to work. So if you're a new player, do not touch Vampires. Also, Vampires are not a great ladder deck, they're more of a competitive deck. So I definitely wouldn't use that to try and push toward King of Games, or at least try and obtain those. And then finally, oh wait, I already said that. I'm trying to think of any other decks, but those are the main decks I wanted to talk about. They're kind of the big ones. I know I'm missing one. There's probably another one. Let me know. Let me know what deck I'm missing. But so yeah, I know I'm pretty high on Fur Hires a lot. But as a, not really free to play, but as a, I want the cheap deck, don't want to have to spend a bunch of money to get, the crazy deck, and I missed Amazoness, and I miss Zane. Yes, another thing, if you miss Zane, you miss that skill. Skills are really important in the game, and if you don't get that skill, you can't run a lot of decks. So I don't have the Cyber Style skill, so I can't run any of those decks. I have to run a different skill, and usually a different deck, so... the thing about Fur Hires is a Tie That Binds is a great skill to use, and it's available with like 5 characters, all the main characters, Jaden, Yugi, Yusei. You get Tie That Binds, and you're good to go. So basically, success in this game is about figuring out a way to obtain a cheap deck early on, and then putting all your resources toward that cheap deck until you've completed it. And once you've done that as a new player, you can kind of start branching out and looking for staples and stuff for other decks and other boxes. But before then, you need to get your one deck and then get it to go. I would not have both of these in if I was a new player. I would have these as giant true nades, 2 of them, and then instead of this, I would have like a, what did I have there before? I can't remember. There are a lot of good options in for hires. It could be, you could put a wall of D there or something. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I have to say about this. The best way for new players and returning players to succeed in Duel Links. Let me know if you guys have any different opinions. If you think I'm wrong about something. If you think there's a better deck. I really don't think there is. I don't see any cheaper deck that's as competitive. But let me know what you guys think. And leave me a comment. Like if you like the video. And subscribe for more, guys. And I will see you guys later. Peace.
"いつの日か